Welcome, everyone, to the Angriest Man in Orlando show. I am your host, Anthony from Orlando, saying happy holidays to everyone. Merry Christmas to anyone coming up on Christmas. Happy Hanukkah to anyone who celebrated Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Boxing Day. Happy holidays to everyone. This is going to be a show to end all shows. So, we're closing out the year of 2023 and just thinking about all the stuff that we can think about, how the year was good, how the year was bad. So we're going to go over a little bit of that in this video, and we're going to do a nice wrap up on our other show, Two Men in a Room. That's going to be coming up on Thursday of this coming week, so stay tuned for that. I'll go over a few things in this show. But there's a bigger announcement to make. Uh, I've been doing a lot of thinking over the last couple of weeks, and we're actually going to put this show and some other things on hiatus until March of 2024. Yes, I'm going to be taking a little break. We're going to stop producing for a little bit. We're going to build up some content. We're going to go from there. We're going to readjust the show a little bit. This has kind of become a venting event where we just kind of let things roll. So I've been talking with a few people. I want to bring them on, let them vent about what they want to vent also. And we may actually be working on a hotline where you at home watching can maybe call in and vent as well. But to do all these different little activities, additions to the show, it was going to be really hard to keep doing the show and explore all these avenues. So I decided to say, okay, we're going to stop for a little bit. I don't want to put out a show that is not of the highest quality. I don't want you guys to think that we're just throwing stuff up on the wall to see what sticks and what doesn't stick. That's why we're gonna take a little break. We're gonna invest in equipment too. We're gonna have a better look for the show. We're gonna work on some things. I'm looking into some new equipment and how that can work for us and what we can do with that to just make it a better production quality. I feel like this is becoming the new medium for everybody to watch on. And I don't want to look like we're Wayne's World in our basement trying to do this show. I'd like a good quality coming out of it, and I think the new avenues we're going to explore are going to be really fun and a bit more audience interactive with the stuff we're going to try to do in the following year. So there will be no January or February shows. As we get closer to March, we'll start putting out a date. So do follow me on Twitter. There is my username on there, or just look up the Angriest Man in Orlando. We'll be posting updates, what's going on, when we're going to return with this show through the X account, so you can see some of the progress that we have going into a new year with new stuff. So I want to thank everyone who has been watching this. I know you're not watching live right now because this was recorded. It was a little bit easier to do this way. So I want to thank everyone who has watched. The audience has been building on the show. It's been great. I can't thank you guys enough for all the support. I know we only had a handful of shows, I believe. It was kind of started up as a side project that's kind of evolving into a main project. So it's time to really do a tune up on this thing and really get this thing going. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put in the shop for a couple of months. We're going to revamp some stuff, and we're going to come back with an even bigger, better, badder, angrier Man in Orlando show than what we've got right now. And it's going to be fun. So stay tuned for that. But we're going to do a quick wrap up on stuff that I guess you say we're still angry about in this year. And the first little thing I'm going to jump into is Rand Paul released a Festivus report. So, if you don't know what Festivus is, it was brought up in the Seinfeld show from the 90s. Go on Netflix, you can find it there. And there's a there's one of the things that you do for Festivus is airing of grievances. Basically, you just sit there. Perfect for us and our how we do stuff. Air what you don't like. Put out whatever you just can't stand. And so Rand Paul took this up and has been doing this for about 9 years or so and put together a pretty good list. So I'm going to read a couple of them. If you want to look it up, just put in any search Rand Paul Festivus List 2023. You can go back and see the other years too. Just shows you all the waste and garbage that goes on behind the scenes that nobody ever tells you, nobody ever cares, nobody ever does reports on. But I'm here bringing it to you. So, one of the things where there was money wasted on were gambling monkeys. In 2014, the late Senator Tom Coburn published his annual waste book exposing, among other waste, $171,000 the National Science Foundation studied making monkeys gamble. As I have highlighted, and 9 years later, the NIH still is actively studying the gambling choices of monkeys. Can we get out of the monkey gambling business already? And what you're going to notice going forward, and I'm going to do a couple more stories from this report, is there's a lot of monkey business in this report. Apparently, the government really likes testing things with monkeys. It's a really weird fascination. They are said to be the closest to us in the animal kingdom. Some say the pig might be genetically closer to us, but relatively speaking, I guess the monkey is the closest to us. So if you're going to test any theories, you just test it on monkeys, I guess. I'm sure people would also volunteer for this stuff if given the chance. So there was that report on that one. Now, the SBA, the Small Business Association. So, as a small business myself, this is a group that helps you build your business. If you have any questions about patents, if you have any questions about how to get capital for your business, any questions on how to build your business, the SBA is there to help you. Well, there were a few people with small businesses who also received money from the SBA. Now, I'm going to read some names, tell you how much they got from the SBA, and I'm going to let you decide whether you think they really needed it. Okay, so Post Malone got about $10 million. Common, the rapper from Chicago, got about 2.8 million. The Smashing Pumpkins got 8.6 million. Becky G got 2.2 million. Lil Wayne got 8.9 million. Vampire Weekend, not even sure who that is, got 8.3 million. Chris Brown got 10 million. Korn got 5.3 million. Leanne Rhymes, 2 million. And Nickelback, who I wasn't even sure was even a band anymore, they got about 2 million. So if you notice something there, they're all pretty successful acts, or at one time were successful acts. Not sure why they're getting money from the SBA for that. So it came out to around 200 million. It's very puzzling why these multimillionaire musicians were cashing the checks, but they apparently got the money. So, really strange, really weird. Some more stuff that was going on were going through this list is it just you face palm through the whole thing. The USDA gave out money to research walking dogs while they're hot. Apparently, in the summer, they wanted to understand how warm a dog gets. Really, really puzzling. Really, really puzzling. Um, don't worry. We helped other people. We did help other people with this. We helped Russian scientists, funded with your own money, post videos of cats walking with electrodes hooked up to them. It was part of a $2.7 million NIH study, or a grant given to the researchers for the study. At the Georgia Institute of Technology, the institute then subgranted the funds to research in St. Petersburg, Russia. So the Russians want to know what cats are doing on treadmills. Weird. Why are we funding that? I don't know. There were a total of about 90 million worth of engines and transmissions that were destroyed because they were left outside at military bases. Yeah, 90 million worth of parts completely destroyed and unusable by our military. Not sure why or how or what they were doing, but even I know to put my car in the rainy days, the winter days when you're not driving it, not using it, put it inside. Come on, people. And the really, really face palm moment was $477,121 for a transgender monkey study. Let me say that again. A transgendered monkey study. Let me read the details of this. Under Dr. Fauci again, the NIAID, National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, took several monkeys. Okay, so this time, instead of tormenting puppies with their having a Florida lab is trying to feminize male monkeys. That's right. Utilizing taxpayer funds, a Florida lab set out to examine what would happen if female hormones were given to male monkeys. After receiving the hormones, biopsies from the forced feminized male monkeys were tested to see if they were more susceptible to HIV. Okay. The lab worked to make male lab monkeys transgender to address social injustices suffered by transgender persons, such as transgendered women, TGW individuals who were assigned a male set at birth but expressed their gender along a female spectrum. Critics note that the monkeys themselves are not susceptible to HIV and argue injecting the male monkeys with female hormones is unlikely to yield relevant information or to help humans. Okay, I want to stop for a minute because there are a few other ones in there, but I felt like that was the greatest one there. We paid money to initiate gender transformations in monkeys to find out how it would affect them if they could get HIV quicker and what effects it has on them so that we can relate better to transgendered people. I don't know about you, but I don't think the monkey hierarchy works the same way in real life. I think someone was watching The Jungle Book one too many times and really thought like they all sing and dance and smoke cigars and gamble like we do. But put in a tape of Jane Goodall and the apes of the African jungle, and I don't think they do all that stuff. I mean, it's absolutely ludicrous that they spent this money because guess what? This money is not just government money. Everybody watching right now, you can pause this or you could do this a little later. Go take your pay stub out. And it's great. It's the end of the year. Look at the federal tax taken out of that paycheck stub. And then go over a block where it says YTD or year to date. See how much tax money gets taken out every year from you so that they can go fund studies of cats running on treadmills and transgendered monkeys. Okay? I'm going to tell you right now, we could take a third of that tax money and give it right back to you without even taking it out of your paycheck. And this country could run fine. Everything could be running just as much as you need it to run. That is how much money is being wasted. So take a third of that money and say, I could have it in my pocket right now if the government actually ran the way a government should run. Do these studies need to be done? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You're building this new AI system that could probably generate the same results in an artificial world. How's a transgender monkey going to feel? Well, number one, that monkey may not even want it to be transgendered. So you just pumped in estrogen into a monkey who believed he was a man the whole time. What kind of results do you think you're going to get? Are you going to start experimenting this on humans? Let's just pick up some males off the street, some homeless guys, start pumping estrogen into them, see how they feel and how society accepts them. When they don't want to be in the first place, it's kind of stupid to even try this stuff. But that's the money that's being wasted right now. So think about that. Think about your tax money that's coming out to go to federal taxes to pay for this kind of stuff. It's absolutely ludicrous. And I hope people wake up and see this, as we do have an election coming up in 2024, and really dig into people who are running, even in your own small area, city council people, uh, town councils, county commissioners. Ask those people, would you actually conduct a study to find out about transgendered monkeys? Who cares what a monkey wants to do? Monkeys are going to do what monkeys do. Nobody cares. So, absolutely ludicrous. If you want more of your tax money back in there, stop funding this kind of crap and tell your legislators. And that's his Festivus report. It's really great to go through and see it and just be like, this is why we owe 33 trillion right now. We owe more than what we make in this country. So that's why. That's some of the crap that gets put on. All right, moving onward to more crap that's coming out that nobody really wants. The entertainment world. Hollywood studios had the worst year in quite some time. Some would say a generation, even. Only one major blockbuster movie this year made any profit. And I believe it was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 from Disney. They made a small profit on that movie. The only other big movies, and then you have to see, how big the movie production was and how big the advertising budget for it is. But the three big movies of this year were the Super Mario Brothers, Barbie, and Oppenheimer. They might have made small profits because they were all over, they were all over about $1 billion. I think once the final numbers come in for Oppenheimer, that it'll be over $1 billion. But again, the amount of advertising for those movies was big. So did they turn profits? Some of them might have. But everything else pretty much just died off pretty quickly. Some of your smaller independent stuff, the latest movie, Godzilla Minus One, had about a $13 million project and is now close to $60 million. So that's going to eke out a profit for them. but nothing was major blockbuster like this year, in my opinion. Barbenheimer was people just wanted to go back to seeing good movies. I mean, there was a lot of criticism for the movies, so I don't know if I'd call it like a blockbuster you shouldn't miss kind of moment. You could miss those movies, and I think you'd still be okay. Like they weren't, and I liked Oppenheimer. Went and saw it in theaters. Recommended it to go see in theaters to people at the time. But looking back on it is like, if you read a book, open up a history book, you'll get all the same information. So it wasn't something that was like, "Oh my gosh, this movie is like really, really amazing." So Hollywood studios had some of pretty much the worst year they're gonna see. I think 2024 is gonna be even worse for them because you don't have any major blockbuster movies coming out next year that are really gonna change the landscape. Deadpool will be lucky if they make it into profitability because there's so much bad will at Disney that you don't know if it's gonna be any good. And there is nothing really slated for next year. And that's a lot because of the writer's strike, the actor's strike. It really delayed a whole bunch of stuff to 2025. And so don't buy people movie tickets as gifts for Christmas. I know this is kind of late, but don't buy anything like that. Because the ones that are going to be hurting the worst are the theaters. And I think the theater experience is something that's really amazing. And if you don't think that, pull up videos of End Marvel Avengers Endgame and Marvel Avengers Infinity War, and look at the theater experience for those movies. And I know if you're not into those movies, that's okay. Like just watch the experience of it. There was nothing like that before. Okay. There was nothing like that before. And to experience that was amazing, and you can't do it at home. You can get the sound, you can get the picture, you can get all that, but to have people you didn't even know cheering along with you and experiencing that with you, you can't get that at home. So I hope theaters can make it through this coming year and really try to get themselves out of everything. It's gonna be tough, but that cinematic experience of sitting down with other people that you don't know and having that experience together is really something special, and it really, really tears at me to see theaters when they're closing down. It's such a fun experience, even if you go see an old movie in a theater. I know they're rerunning Die Hard right now for Christmas. Go watch it in a theater. It's really a cool experience, really fun. So entertainment had a pretty bad year, and who knows what's going to happen next year. But a lot of the problem is they're just pushing stuff on to people rather than making stories. And if you saw the preview for the American Society of Magical Negroes, that movie is I don't I don't know. It's either going to be really profitable or it's going to bomb terribly with the numbers. And it's weird because you look at the go on YouTube and look at the trailer for that. The downvote on that one is amazing. The comments are black and white people are coming together to hate this movie. So it'll be really interesting to see if that movie comes out and just completely bombs, or is everyone so amazed that this movie even got made and they just happen to have it's one of those you have to see it for yourself kind of moments. But one of the one of the conversations in the trailer is what is the most dangerous animal on earth? And the kid says shark, and he says white people who are angry. I don't think I'm dangerous, but if that's some people's interpretation, then just come say hi to me. We'll talk. You understand? I'm not crazy or anything. I just get angry at some stuff. Nothing you really do, unless you're in front of me doing 20 miles an hour under the speed limit. So Hollywood needs to just stop pushing stuff on people and just write good stories. Just go back to writing stories or even just taking old stories and bringing them to the forefront. There's a lot of great tales from Europe that they can be doing. There's a lot of great tales from Africa that they could be doing. There's a lot of great stories from the East that they could be doing, the Far East. There's a lot of great tales from America, South America, that yeah, really haven't even explored that you could do and still don't change anything on it. Put it out as it was, as it happened, and I think you'd get people back into the theaters. But it's gonna take probably an independent studio wanting to do a shift to be able to do all that. So that'll be interesting to see next year. And then we're gonna start wrapping this up with the economy. The economy, I think it slowed down this year. There was definitely a slowdown. A lot of people that I'm hearing from companies were, still making a profit, but not as much as last year. And if you put it in retrospect to pre-COVID, they were kind of just breaking even or a little bit above. So, nobody's really losing right now. They're kind of just floating right now. And it's a lot of people just buying, using credit, using cash savings, anything that they've got so far. It's just going towards buying stuff. And I think come next year, we're seeing the layoffs right now. I think it's going to come to an end. If they do any interest rate drops from the Fed, it might help a little, or it might just accelerate everything. I don't even think they'll do an interest rate drop till about midway through the year. I think they want to see, inflation keep going down and get to their mark of around 2%. So they won't touch anything for a little bit, but people are just still spending. I know it's the holidays, everybody is going out and trying to get extra stuff now. But as we've said on our channels, don't kill yourself to buy somebody something. I think everyone does kind of have their eyes on well, we're doing okay, but there might be something bad. So if you want to get the slow landing that they're talking about, I believe is what they call it, you've got to really be cautious about this stuff. You can't have a quick pull out of everybody's spending, but at the same time, people have to pull back from spending so much. So we could see some deflation, see some lowering of prices on stuff, and be able to get back to a really good place. And if you get that, you can have a steady growth still where just some people are taking a hit. Now, if it goes really bad, everyone's going to be taking a hit and it's going to be insane. So there's ways to maneuver around all this stuff, and we'll just have to see what happens. Good note I got was my savings rate once again went up. So banks are still looking to work with people who are really good. I think they've tightened up the credit, so you won't be easily getting credit. But if you've been with them and you've had some success with banks, I've been getting multiple banks call me up, say how great I've been with them. It's been such a wonderful year. Would I like more money? And I've easily declined all of them because no, I don't want more money. Credit right now costs a lot, so you want to be able to use funding from 0% interest rates on any cards that you have to do stuff with. Otherwise, just pay cash or don't do it at all because it's crazy right now. The drop could hit us in 2024, and you want to be ready to be able to survive all this. So 2024 will be a New exciting year. Like I said, we're going to take a small break. This will be the last show of 2023. We're going to take a break in January and February. We'll come back sometime in March. We'll announce that again on the X account, Twitter account, whatever you want to call it. Just look up that username or the Angriest Man in Orlando. And we'll have a date on when we're coming back. Once again, I want to thank everybody. Yes, that was me clapping. I want to thank everybody who watched it, who supported this show, subscribed, followed, whatever you were watching it on. Thank you for giving me support to get this going. We're going to try some new stuff, and hopefully everyone's excited with it when it hits. So it's been a fun 2023. It's been tiring too. I got a lot of stuff going on also through the next couple months that I'll be working on too. So hope to see you back in March. Feel free to reach out to me, message me if you got any suggestions, comments, concerns on the show. I'll be in communication, but I won't be producing anything. So I'll see you in March. Have a wonderful Christmas. Have a wonderful New Year's. And just enjoy the time off. Go do some traveling, read some books. Have fun with it. This is the Angriest Man in Orlando, signing